I'm Rob.
And I'm Matt.
And this is the Townsmen VR review
by Barefoot Gaming.
Townsmen VR, Matthew, what's the gist of the game?
So you are a greater being that controls these people to do your bidding.
And you are responsible for this one island in the ocean of the game. And let's talk about the controls. Matthew, how do you move around?
Right, so the controls, you use your grips for pulling in and out. That's your zooming and unzooming. Zooming and unzooming.
Sure enough. We'll go with it. Keep going.
Okay. And then for picking people up and moving stuff around, telling them what to do, you'll use your trigger. That lets you pick them up, move them, put them on like a tree, and they'll start chopping the tree. And if you want to build a building, you're going to use your directional pad. If you go up, that goes into your building selection. It tells you exactly what you can build. If you press down and then point onto one of your buildings, there'll be the little eye above it. You click your trigger on the eye, and it tells you exactly what you need to either finish building that building, or it tells you what you need to
make something.
Advance through that building, what that building was made for.
Yeah, it's an informational button based on everything that's there. So if you don't know what a building does, you click the eye, boom, it'll tell you what it does and what it makes. Like Matthew was saying, you pick people up, you put them on a tree, they're going to wood chop. You put them on the stone, they're going to hit stone. You put them in the mine, they're going to mine, etc., etc. There's farms. There's windmill, and the windmill you can either blow on or
you can just spin it with your finger and it'll move faster. By spinning it, basically it makes it so the bread or the wheat turns into bread much faster, so you can be more efficient that way. Same with, you can put people in fishing spots, they do fishing for you. There's also mining rocks, mining an ore of some sort. I'm not exactly what they want to call it, but they're bigger rocks that sit next to the mine.
And to make more people, you build more houses. To build soldiers, you build the buildings for either building soldiers or building them weapons.
Yeah, you build the forge first, then you'll build the barracks, and then you have to either have like wheat and fish for the soldiers and bread and a sword, which you get from the forge, to build the knights.
Right, and there's piles of recipes for different things. We won't get into all of that. Right. That's the gist of the game, except for attacking. You can also get attacked. So a boat will pull up on the island, guys will unload.
Right, so if you have soldiers that you've built up, as soon as you get attacked, the best thing you'll want to do is probably grab your rally flag and then put it where the other soldiers are at. So it'll bring your soldiers and start attacking in that general area, and you can kind of wipe them out from there. They will come from different directions sometimes. They'll also want to burn down your buildings.
And they will. They will raise your buildings to the ground slowly, and they don't kill your people.
Right, yeah, they just knock out your people. At least that's what it seemed to do.
The civilians all seem to just be dazed when they were hit and laying around.
Yeah, but once you fall behind in a fight, it's pretty hard to get back up, just because if they remove like one of your houses, that's 3 people gone immediately. Plus, if they destroy your barracks, it takes so long to build a building because your people have to walk from one area to the other area to actually pick up the resources from the vendor that it's at. So yeah, once you kind of fall behind, it's a little bit hard to win the fight.
And on that note, let's get to the actual review of Townsmen VR. This game is going for $10.49 Canadian, so it will be less for our American viewers and such. But out of 5, Matthew, how many soaring eagles that you can pluck from the sky, out of 5 would you give this, and why?
I'd probably give it a 2.5 out of 5, just because I feel like an hour of gameplay and you've basically done everything. It's not going to change it all unless you're moving your houses differently and stuff like that.
Early access. I will mention this is early access, so things will be changing, but this is the level which the developer sent us the key for. So this is the level that we are reviewing it. So I'm going to give this between a 2 and a 2.5 right now. And again, very similar reason that you can kind of play everything out in about an hour. So maybe even less, depends on how quick you play. And like Matthew was saying, once you've kind of done your battles, once you've built up your soldiers, once you've done, there isn't really more. Now, maybe they'll be adding more buildings, maybe they'll be adding more weapons, all that sort of stuff. That would be great. That would be my score for this game right now. It's very cute, and I like the way the guys move around. They are still currently quite dumb as far as like getting stuck in walls, stopping doing stuff.
Yeah, as soon as you tell them to like start cutting a tree, as soon as that tree breaks down and they bring that wood back, they're just looking at you like, what do I do? What do I do? needs a lot of finesse.
And that's only sometimes. Sometimes they'll do exactly what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, dude, you are fired. You can't be building anymore because you just stopped building. I'm putting you into the farmyard. So there's that. And I'm sorry, but right now this game is super glitchy. We had 5 crashes in an hour, and we rebooted the machine. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't something running in the background, and I get that it's early access, but that is frustrating because if we have to start from the beginning every single time, and you do, it doesn't, there isn't really a save point. You play this game and you go till you want to stop, and then you start from the beginning again.
It only gives you about 2 actual like battle buildings or combat buildings. One is the forge and one is a barrack. For your people, there's only the houses itself. For fighting, you can build a catapult, but that's about it. And there's a rally flag in there, but like I said, that doesn't do much other than just like putting it and your people will go there. And I mean, you can fish and stuff like that, but there's really not much to do to it.
Yeah, and again, if they add more stuff, great, then our rating should go up with that. So depending on when you watch this, that will greatly depend. So research it, look into this and see if they've added buildings, have they added this. Have the crashes gone away? Because 5 crashes in an hour is too many crashes.
Yeah, I think we had to, in the beginning, we didn't know how to skip the tutorial. So we went through the tutorial about 3 times before realizing you just go to your start menu, skip tutorial, and then you're fine. But even then, you get to the point where you were at, and it crashes.
We would have enjoyed it more, less crashes.
Yep.
Developer, keep working on that, remove the crashes. The game has potential, it needs more stuff. If you can add more stuff, add more units, add more buildings, I'd actually like to see more islands as well. Like, not bigger, because we had issues with losing our guys, even on this small island.
Yep.
But just different layouts, something to keep it fresh. Townsmen VR, that's the review. Thank you so much for watching another one of our videos. Don't forget to subscribe, leave comments, like.
Yes.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
See ya.